Who was the Zodiac Killer? The unsolved mystery? Between 1968 and 1969, a serial killer began terrorizing Northern California. He attacked young couples without warning. Then he did something no killer had ever done before. He started sending letters to newspapers. Inside were cryptic ciphers, threats, and details that only the killer could have known. He called himself the Zodiac. More than 50 years later, his identity remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in criminal history. Before we begin, subscribe to Dark Archive for more unsolved mysteries, disappearances, and dark cases from around the world. Now let's open the file. In the late 1960s, Northern California became the hunting ground of one of America's most infamous, unidentified serial killers. Unlike many murderers, the Zodiac wasn't motivated by fame alone. He wanted attention, he wanted fear, and above all, he wanted the world to know his name. The first confirmed attack occurred on December 20th, 1968. High school students David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were parked along a quiet road near Vallejo, California. It was supposed to be an ordinary date. Instead, someone approached their car. Moments later, gunshots shattered the silence. David was killed inside the vehicle. Betty attempted to run. She was shot several times before collapsing only a short distance away. Police had almost no evidence. The killer vanished into the darkness. At first, investigators believed it was an isolated crime. They were wrong. Just months later, another young couple was attacked. Darlene Farron and Michael Mageau were sitting inside a parked car at Blue Rock Springs Park. A vehicle pulled in behind them. The driver stepped out. Without warning, he opened fire. Darlene died from her injuries. Michael survived despite being shot multiple times. Less than an hour later, the Vallejo Police Department received a chilling phone call. The caller calmly confessed to both attacks. He provided details only the killer could have known. Then, he hung up. The investigation changed forever. Weeks later, 3 major newspapers each received an almost identical letter. Inside each envelope was part of a coded message. The writer demanded the newspapers publish his cipher on the front page. If they refused, he threatened to kill again. For the first time, the mysterious murderer signed his letters with a strange symbol, a circle crossed by 4 lines. Beneath it, one name: Zodiac. Thousands of people attempted to solve the cipher. Teachers, students, cryptographers, ordinary citizens. Finally, a school teacher and his wife managed to decode most of it. The message read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." It ended with a chilling claim. The killer believed his victims would become his servants in the afterlife. But one section of the cipher remained unsolved for decades. The Zodiac had become more than a murderer. He had become a mystery. Then came perhaps his most terrifying attack. On September 27th, 1969, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were relaxing near Lake Berryessa. Suddenly, a strange man emerged from the trees. He wore a black executioner's hood, dark clothing, and a large white symbol matching the one from the Zodiac letters. He calmly approached the couple, claiming he only wanted their money and car. Then, without warning, he tied them up. Moments later, he stabbed them repeatedly. Before leaving, he walked to their car and wrote a message on the driver's door. It listed the dates of his previous attacks and signed it with the Zodiac symbol. Brian survived. Cecilia died 2 days later. Less than a month later, the Zodiac struck again, this time in the middle of San Francisco. Taxi driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger. Instead of reaching his destination, the passenger shot him in the head, then calmly tore away a piece of Stein's blood-stained shirt before walking away. Witnesses saw the suspect leaving the scene, but confusion during the police dispatch allowed him to escape. Days later, newspapers received another letter. Inside was part of Paul Stein's shirt, proof that the Zodiac was responsible. The killer continued sending letters for years. Some included new ciphers. Others threatened school children. Several claimed responsibility for crimes investigators could never confirm. Each letter increased public fear. Police departments across California worked together. The FBI became involved. Thousands of leads poured in. Hundreds of suspects were investigated. One name appeared again and again. Arthur Lee Allen. He matched several descriptions. Owned watches displaying symbols similar to the Zodiac emblem, and had a suspicious criminal history. Many investigators believed he was the strongest suspect. Yet, fingerprint evidence didn't match. Handwriting comparisons were inconclusive. Later, DNA testing also failed to identify him as the Zodiac Killer. Despite decades of investigation, no suspect has ever been officially charged. In recent years, modern DNA technology has renewed hope. Investigators continue examining preserved evidence using techniques unavailable in the 1960s. Some experts believe the case could still be solved. Others argue too much time has passed. The truth may have disappeared forever. More than 50 years later, the Zodiac Killer remains unidentified. 5 confirmed murders, 2 survivors, dozens of cryptic letters, 4 coded messages, and countless theories. Was Arthur Lee Allen truly the Zodiac? Did investigators overlook the real killer? Or did one of history's most infamous murderers die without ever revealing his identity? Perhaps. The final clue is still waiting to be discovered. This has been Dark Archive. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe and turn on notifications for more unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and dark stories from around the world. Until next time, keep searching for the truth.